What's up, guys? This is Ninja and a Ninja here, or just Knight is what I like to go by now. Knight's fine. Basically, I just wanted to do a little. Uh, I wanted to do a replay because this match is completely by accident. I meant to go versus a bot, just to do practice builds, like just kind of warm up my hands, and then I accidentally queued against a player and I couldn't abort. So I was like, screw it, and I just went along with it, which you'll see through my comments right now. So, friendly guy, we are now sparring buddies because the match went very well. But basically, I just wanted to basically explain what I was doing here and what I wish a lot of programs were about. Because a lot of the top tier play, you don't see this shit anymore. And basically, what that is the early game. Like, nowadays, all it is you take three bases and then the game starts. What I enjoyed was playing a game where you actually had to survive up to three bases, and you had to defend your base the whole time and attack their base the whole time. Slow them down and had that whole confrontation thing going on. The early trading. Instead of having just three bases and constantly just going base to base and just throwing armies at each other and like, oh shit, this didn't work. Okay, paper rock scissors, paper rock scissors, paper. And just back and forth like that. That was boring to me. Whereas this game, you're gonna see what I think is good. So basically, I'm doing somewhat standard. um, to me, it's standard. This is like old school, supposedly. But basically, I do the one gate cybernetic score, you know, and this is all I do right now. This is all I do. I know I'm not going to expand until I get at least another production building or two, depending. I standard no matter what. I do that. Reason why is because if they don't, it's pressure. So like right now, he doesn't know what's going on yet. I don't know what's going on for him either. All I know is I don't want him to expand, and I want to get some kind of army going early. So I have my economy, which I'm mostly focusing on. I occasionally do stuff here, but it's mostly for here. When I remember to do it, it's been a while. Don't forget. So I'm just trying to deny this. We're both not very good, so I just ran back to base, and he just happened to follow instead of building it. So again, don't discredit. Oh, he could have stopped and defend or built it because I could have stopped and stopped it anyways. You know what I mean? So it's 50-50 in that aspect. It's not that he's bad; it's we're both bad. So it kind of balances out. So he ends up pulling back, and I'm like, that's fine because I suck at control right now. Let me go back to my vision. I'm basically trying to kill this. I don't want him to get any information. I get a hit to stop the Regan for the time being, or at least get him back down to low. And then he takes this. I'm like, fuck. So again, I chrono, just trying to bait him into believing something. Oh shit, I moved my camera. So basically, I'm trying to bait him into thinking something. He doesn't know what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I was hoping he'd cancel it and then go see it, but he never did. I don't remember. I don't think he's seen what this was. Unfortunately for him. So we're just going back and forth. I get that down. He didn't see anything. So right here, I decide to expand because I have a good production amount down at the moment. I have a robo, I have a gateway. My economy is good at the moment, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw down production because this should be able to stop any kind of Zergling attack because I just fall back into here, and if he attacks that, I just move out with this and defend it with these. That's the idea right now. So I'm gonna go to everyone now. So as you can see, he got a Roach Warren, which is very smart. A lot of people don't get Roach Warren anymore, and they need to, especially versus me. If you don't get a Roach Warren, you GG, lost. Unless you go fast layer and then get like Hydras, then you might be able to do something. But by then, you lost your third or your natural, So yeah, and I'm pretty sure I seen the spawning pool. Okay, I end up somehow seeing it. Could be because of this thing. I don't know. I don't remember. Like, I just played this game, it's just my memory sucks. So that was a little bit too early. But as you can see, the production's kicking in like most games. The difference is my I can't stress this enough, but the difference is I have an army early, so I can apply pressure. But because I seen what he was doing for the most part, I knew I couldn't. He got this, and generally, yeah, that's really all you need to see is just the timing on that. and you know like something's going on. And he got speed. So if I went out right now, bad stuff would happen, and I knew that. But I know he's gonna want to attack, and he's seen my army, so he feels the pressure. This is what I always try to get people to understand: is this, like, I'm not doing anything with it, supposedly, but it's you don't see it. It's pressure. You know what I mean? At any moment's notice, I could attack. So he's not gonna go just throw everything he has into drone production. You know what I mean? He actually has to conserve, because the second I decide to go, he's got to throw static or throw units or both, depending on what he sees. So he's being smart, very aware, so he knows what's going on. He has control towers, blah, 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 blah. He has the whole 9 yards going on. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I fuck up in this game too, by the way. I'm not going to lie. So you see my army, checking shit out, making sure my economy's growing. But at the same time, I'm still trying to keep tabs on shit, still trying to build up an army, because it's early game. It's always early game. I always try to move out before the 10-minute marker, generally. Here, I was just trying something new. I was tired of not getting tech, so I decided to get some early tech, but basically have it Zealot, and that sucked. The second I moved out, he moved in. So, like I said, he's very aware. So I decided to move out. He sees it coming by like a mile away. Alright, little engagements there, killing off a Zergling here and there. I don't know what's going on for the most part. I just see his army is growing. I know if I get into a choke, I can take him, but I don't. You'll see. So I'm getting ready to defend. So I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he's doing. So I back up. I don't know where his army is at. Basically, I knew what he just made, but he has to have armies somewhere, and he does. See, okay, now I see it, and I'm like, shit. And I try to go jump into that choke. I lower his stuff right there, and he runs away because he's smart. And I decide to attack. I'm like, that must be it. That must be it, right? So again, I get ready for the base, and I screw up right there. I lost my immortal. I was like, freak! And I was like, all right. I'm losing a lot here. Just fall back. One thing I've learned is just kind of count your losses, or cut your losses rather. So you see I'm just kind of delay, basically. Don't want him to run by. A lot of people just let that happen. It's kind of annoying to watch. Yeah, our money's getting high, blah, 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 blah. Say what you want. But we're playing a different game than pros do. We're not just throwing down 18 gateways and fucking 13 nexuses and 100 workers before a single Zealot hits the floor. That shit's stupid. I would have killed somebody with this build going on. If I was at their level anyway. So he's constantly trying to put pressure here, right? Because he's just trying to keep me pinned, because he wants to expand, basically. He's not trying to kill me, he's just trying to keep me pinned. So I move out. I have an overwhelming army right now, because I have a lot of Zealots, and I have Immortals, Sentries, and Stalkers. This is another thing, too, I have to point out. A lot of people don't do this enough. Look at my composition. Like, just look at it for a minute. Like, I don't have a lot of everything, just Zealot. That's why my stream name is A Lot of Zealot, by the way, is because I do this. But Zealots, because they're the fodder. If you're not making anything else, build fodder. Especially when you're playing like me, you need shit to throw away. You need shit to trade with. These you try to keep alive as long as you can. You'll see right now what I do. A few Stalkers, I don't need a lot. A lot of pros just get 1,000 because you blah blah blah, they're good, whatever. No, stupid. Zealots, you need Zealots. And then these are your biggest damage. These are fun, these are cool, these are useful, don't get me wrong, but that's all later. This is all early game pressure, so that's not going to work. You can't just max up these because you're going to just lose to these. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to keep it diverse. He can't just go and make like 40 roaches or 40 Zerglings and just counter me. And that's what I was saying before about pro games where it's just like, oh, paper, rock, scissors, paper, rock, scissors, paper, rock, scissors. You can't do that here. You actually have to be like, okay, okay, got it all, build it, go, send. And you have to have the buildings ready to go. You have to see, okay, he's getting Colossus, let's build a Spire. You have to be ready to go, you know what I mean? And you just don't build like, okay, this, or whatever. Anyways, continuing, slow down. So, right here, I notice where my mortals are, and I notice where his Zerglings are, for the most part, like what's going on up here, okay? I noticed that, so I just wall that off, because these are the most important part of my army. This shit I don't really care too much about. I need them, but I mostly need these alive. If I lose this, I lose this whole fight. So I'm trying to keep these alive. The roaches are sitting here attacking, but that's fine, because my immortals can take hits, and then they're going to trade and kill every single time. They're going to win the engagement. I fucked up there, attacked the rock, but notice the immortals just disappearing. Or not the immortals, but the roaches. Cause look at it. he has to attack my zealots, and this shit's perfectly fine. That's that's the whole point. You know what I mean? That's why it's a lot of zealots. So I have more at the base because I was expecting some kind of run by, but he's full on retreat right now. Here I'm trying to put on pressure, but I got supply blocked for like a year, and it sucked. And I'm like putting pylon after pylon after pylon after pylon, and I wasn't doing anything because, like, you'll see. Like, there's a pylon, there's a pylon, there's a pylon, there's a pylon. And I'm sitting there, I'm waiting. I'm like, come on, build, 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 build. Come on, what the fuck? Come on, come on. Sending it, and I'm still trying to make more, and I can't. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This is taking forever. Come on. See how I keep checking, and I go and put more down because I'm just like, what the fuck? So now the supply hits. His third is down. The fourth is still up. Killing off all that crap because it's his army. He has to keep his army up. That's the whole goal. It's not for the late game. It's just to keep him building army. He sends in a lot of Neelisks. I'm trying to build more of those. I just decided to go more, and I'm like, I'll deal with it. I'll just kill him. And most people are like, oh, base race, base race. Me, I was like, nah, fuck that, dude. We got this shit. And you can see my probe just chilling there like a fucking asshole. So I'm doing a lot of damage. I have no, what's it called, sentries here. But all I'm trying to do is, notice what I'm trying to do with the workers, or the stalkers, just protecting the immortals. I don't care. Right here, this is the shit right here. This is what came through to me right now. I slowed it down, by the way. Bloop. 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 You know, I don't wait till they're almost dead. I just wait till... Look at the immortals. Just GG. GG. He can't do shit. The stalkers, yeah, they're stuck right now, but they're not dead. I don't have to spend... Look at my money, dude. Look at my money. That's completely fine, though, because I'm ready to react. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, you suck because your money's not low. No. I have the ability to spend. You know what I mean? I can go and upgrade. I can do shit, but the point is the here and now. And I'm just trying to kill him. I'm not like going all in or anything. I'm just trying to kill him. You know, just starve him essentially. But look, everyone. He still has money. Notice this, please. Okay? He still has money everywhere. In pro games, they're always out of this. They're always out of this. They're here, here, and here. And there's some dramatic ass bullshit that goes on like in the middle, which is pretty much what these are for. It's just that late game shit. But I understand that, and I just like the early game, and then having the mid game, and then the late game. All the early game is just build 10 nexuses, then build 50 gateways, and have 100 people mining for economy, and then that's the game. And then you go and just throw shit at each other all day. You know, and that's completely fine or whatever, but you're going to lose to someone like me, like once I get like better, basically, because I'm doing everything. I use everything. Like when I play Orianna in League of Legends, I kick butt. I'm not gonna lie. Like I tend to win a lot. I carry my team every game. Like I'm 8-0 with her right now. This season I'm 8-0 with her, and I've only played like 8 matches. With her. I've played with other people. But I'm just really good with Orianna because I use every aspect of her. I throw my ball. I shield this guy. You know, and I shield a guy that has like someone between them. So it's not so much to protect this guy, it's to damage this guy while protecting this guy. And then like I'll throw it, it'll land, I'll hit him, I'll throw it to shield this guy, and I'll run away and it'll come back to me. You know, and I just use all this positioning shit, and I'll throw it and I'll be just outside of range and walk back, it'll come back to me, and I'll use my ability and just bounce, you know, if it looks bad. Because I just use I use every aspect of everything. So he has a few mutas here, which generally is GG at some point. But as you can see, it's fine. Like, kill my workers, because I'm just going to kill your mutas. And what are you going to do? Because you have nothing to go back on. Because I'm in your fucking face the whole time. Look at the time. It's 16 minutes. Like, I have this at 16 minutes, you know? I killed this off, and I killed his natural. He has this. Like, yeah, he has this, but he doesn't have time to build workers, because he has to constantly build... he probably doesn't have this hotkeyed. But he constantly has to... And, real quick, notice what I said. He probably doesn't have this hotkeyed. That's because he didn't have an hour to go and set up everything. He's constantly under fire. That's the whole point, is to try to be in charge of the whole situation, to try to make him make mistakes. So force him to make mistakes. I don't wait for someone to make a mistake. I try to make him make a mistake. See what I'm saying? So that's basically how the match went. I feel I did very good here. I could have done a lot better, like Chrono, but I would have stretched myself to here and to possibly here. He would have had a bunch of these. I probably would have lost that game, to be honest. Um, maybe not. I don't know. This is one of my mistakes, by the way. I meant to make 2 and then build that here, and then I ended up making this later because I was like, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. But 4 gateways, and then 5, 6, and then generally it's like 7, 8 or something like that. Or 7, 8, or 9, 10. Whatever's going on. You know, that's stupid, but if it gets there, it gets there. But the whole point is to not let it get there. Um, I hate the new maps. I hate the new maps because, like, this whole area would be my side of the map, and imagine this over here, like another whole map, and that's their side of the map. So they get to expand here, here, and here for free, and then by the time your 4 gate gets there, they have static defense up, or they have an army and like 20 gateways. So now you're behind because of it, just because of the map. Whereas in this map, you know, one of the better ones that I feel, in this map, there's that early game, you know, so he has to defend against that. And while he's defending against that, now we go to phase 2. It's not so much like, oh, well, first phase 1 is build up, phase 2 is build out of that shit and upgrade, and then phase 3 is combat. No, it's just phase 1 is do what you can, stay alive, combat. Phase 2, stay alive, do what you can, combat. Phase 3, stay alive, do what you can, kill somebody. Basically, that's how I look at it. That's how it should be. That's how the game is fun. Because this whole time I'm like, it's not like, or like 20 minutes of just like spamming. It's fucking boring. That's why if you watch like pro games, the commentators, they sit there and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about stupid ass bullshit too. This is a football game, blah blah blah. It's because they have nothing better to talk about. Because the whole fucking first 10 minutes of the match is just they sit there and do shit. Like they just sit there and farm and max up, and that's stupid. That's boring as crap. Yeah, and like for me, I'd prefer just combat. You know, so they constantly have something to talk about because that's entertainment to me. Like, cool, you're doing this. Cool, you got this. Cool, you got this. Like, I have a lot of fucking workers up here, by the way. Oh, actually, it's just 2 more than you. No, actually, yeah, never mind. I have a lot of workers. How do I unselect these? Whatever. Anyways, yeah. So that's just my take on it. That's fairly inside my head. I just kind of brushed over it. Like literally, I just brushed over it. He's doing the smart thing by attacking my economy and shit. But that's because that's pro games. You know what I mean? Like I might lose a little bit of economy, but you're gonna lose your army, and now I'm gonna go kill your base, for example. You know, because I have this all going on. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. Yeah, thanks for watching. This is how games should be. Flat out, this is how games should be. Anyways, GG. Another thing to include with the Zerg is they're really great late game. They can make a 300 supply army essentially. Well, it's really 200 because the assholes have 100 supply and workers, so it's just a 200 army, which I have all the time, about 140, you know, because I'm not greedy as fuck, and I turn my economy into combat and aggression, so I like my way better. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot harder, but the reward it's high risk, high reward, cause yeah. Anyways, if I did play the long game and gave him 8 bases, I probably would have lost, because Zerg is disgusting late game, but Protoss is disgusting early game, and a lot of the games nowadays, they all require you to play late game, and I'm not saying that it's impossible, it's just it's a lot harder to do as a Protoss than it is a Zerg, because of the way the race is built. That's why Heart of the Swarm, when it comes out, things are different this time. That's why we have Oracles. That's why we have cooldown Void Rays as Protoss. That's why Terrans have the mines and shit, because they have to balance the late game. It's all going towards that late game bullshit. And yeah, you can use it early game, but a lot of people have tried. A lot of people consider it shit because you can't. But they're meant to be existent for a certain thing, and Blizzard's gonna nerf them the hell and back until you get that. And they're gonna make them shittier and shittier until you use them right. And here, I was pointing out, like, he has 6 mutas, like that's left from his attack. But if he had 5 bases, he could have had 30, and this would not have held 30 mutas, and then I would have lost the base race, because he might have like 50 spine crawlers as well, you know. And that's the whole difficulty. But because he only has 6, and he has no time to make spine crawlers, because he didn't have enough drones to just sacrifice drones and build whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? Um, and like I said, the whole time, like he's starving essentially, or not starving, but he's rich, but he's having so much trouble keeping up because of my constant pressure, and all he can do is build. And if he takes a moment's time to do something else, he loses a base. You know what I mean? So I'm making him make mistakes. But the point is, I don't give him time to set up this fortified castle. I'm constantly breaching his guard. I'm constantly breaching him, just like he ran by with the Zergling and whatever. You know, it's the same concept. Like there's pro games where they go and have this whole fucking mindset set up, like this whole situation ready to go, and then next thing you know, 6 Zerglings run by, get in here, killed this many workers. The dude's like GG and leaves. Same concept, except this what I'm doing is a lot more efficient. Cause yeah, if I put this here, I'm not gonna lose to 6 Zerglings. You know what I mean? But if I have this going, basically if I did what I did to somebody else in another game, it's gonna be the same kind of scenario. Like it depends on how well he plays, but it's gonna be the same kind of scenario. It's really gonna be skill. It's not gonna be like oops, oops. So that's kind of what I wanted to add in. Um, and yeah, it's just that the aggression keeps not only me starved, but it keeps him starved. And the trading is to eventually. This is how I play League of Legends, by the way, too. And I trade just to keep him below me, and I trade to keep him slightly above me, or I'll trade him to keep him even. You know, and I basically it depends. It just completely depends. Like if I'm playing somebody who's a late game champion, I'll all in that motherfucker and just keep him from getting to that late game over and over and over again. I'll play defensive, of course, but I'm gonna sacrifice CS so that he doesn't get CS. Uh, Creep score, basically. Creep score is like minion kills. You get money for each minion kill. So I'll go and throw away money to stop him from getting money, and later on I'll eventually be a support kill. What I mean is by support kill is a support that can kill, essentially. So I'll go and save my AD, who hopefully is getting farmed on bot, and their bot can be getting farmed too. But when it comes down to it, I'm Orianna. Their AD versus my AD. I throw a shield on my AD. My AD's gonna win now. That's it. You know, and their support can stun, but what's their mid gonna do? They're a late game mid. You know, they can't do shit. You know, it's just all about that whole mindset, and that's what helps me progress so well. And while I'm winning so well, is because I step up and beyond what the game is, and I rise to that plateau where people want you to be, but a lot of people just are unaware of this. And this is why I'm 8-0 with Orianna, is because I play that kind of like I sacrifice a lot of shit to deny them, and that's what I do here. I give up a lot of economy. You know, I could have a third base, a fourth base, a fifth base by now, but he would have this, all this, and he'd have it up and running and functional and fully saturated by the time I had this up and saturated. You know, so I'd be in trouble, and he'd have all that freaking production, and I just would not be able to keep up, because that's a late game Zerg. Especially if he keeps on doing his injects and whatnot, and the larva is just constantly there, the money's constantly there. You know, and you have to play flawlessly. He can throw away mutas all fucking day, and he can just send shit, send shit, send shit, send shit, and you're gonna lose ground. You're gonna lose ground as a Protoss with 3 bases versus like 6 bases, or Ultralisks. You know, eventually he'll punch through and you lose. That's the whole point of the Zerg. But if you get in his face and deny him from anything, he's not gonna have shit, and he's gonna lose. So that's how I play it. That's how I play it, and I feel that's how it works. So yeah, take it to heart. Like literally, take it to heart. I win games like this. I win games like this. And yeah, my money's low now. You know, and his money's high, but that's because I'm denying him. He's not having free float, whatever. He's not having free anything. He's having trouble. That's all he's having right now, because I'm just in his face. Look how basic this army is too. I don't need Templars. I don't need all this crap. I need amounts of shit. This guy is still alive, thank gosh. Thank gosh, yes. He's a good player. He's a good player, and like I'm decent. I just need to speed up. That's all, you know, and get more fluctuant, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so that's it.